Welcome to Warcraft. In this video, I'm going to show you how to play this game. This is a game happening in 618 AD, and you will be playing one of the princes walking in Chang'an City in a roundel fashion. You will have 4 phases during each turn. You have the movement phase, and you have the action phase, you have the event phase, and you have the upkeep phase. During the movement phase, you'll be moving 1, 2, 3 steps for free in front of you. If I'm in the palace, I can move to the back palace or the market or the Prince's Palace for free. If I want to move more than that or go to any other locations, then I need to pay my followers for each steps I move further than the free ones. So if I want to go to any of those places, I'll have to pay 1, 2, 3, or 4 followers. If I want to go from the upper palace to the lower palace, I need to pay 1 more follower. For the sake of movement, the upper palace and the lower palace are considered 2 separate places. Now, moving on to the action phase. You perform one or all the location actions indicated on the space that you're standing on. In the palace, you perform the same action whether you're in the upper palace or in the lower palace. First, you take the money equal to your VP. So right here, we start at 30, so I'm going to add 30 gold to my gold pile. Now, the second thing you can do is to resolve an Emperor card, which will give you VP points. So how do you resolve them? Let's take a quick look over here. You always have 2 cards flipped up and replenish at upkeep phase. So for example, in this case, you have a war preparation gathering resources that require level 2 political influence and level 1 military influence. So once you have those requirements fulfilled, you can gain 4 VPs. The political influence and the military influence are represented by the political influence track and the military influence track on the player board. So let's take a look at the Crown Prince's player board. You see the green bar represents the political influence, the red bar represents the military influence, and the blue bar represents scheme levels. In the game, there will be characters that can help you gain those influences and the scheme levels. In turns, they will help you fulfill the Emperor's card or the scheme cards. In the East Market and West Market, you can get your subordinates. Subordinates are your followers, which will be in charge of your political affair, and military units who will be in charge of your military affairs. You also have spies, where you can place them in different locations where there's a spy symbol, and those will help you plot and perform scheme against each other. And they all cost the same. The cost is written on the cost table below. So let's say my prince just came to the West Market to purchase some followers. You can only purchase followers here, but you can purchase spies in either locations. So let's say I want to get 3 followers and 1 spy. So that will cost me 30 gold for 3 followers and 5 gold for 1 spy. So that will cost me 35 gold because 30 for the follower and 5 for the 1 spy. Now, if I go to the East Market, I can purchase some military units. Let's say I want to purchase 2 military units. That will cost 15. So I move my tracker up by 2, and I pay $15 gold. I'm sorry. Now I also want to buy 1 spy. So I move my spy to the palace, and I pay 5 gold. Now that you have some subordinates, it's time to get some character cards. There are 3 types of character cards. There's the minister cards, the concubine cards, and the general cards. To gain a minister character card, you simply go to court, and you draw up 3 minister cards into your hand. You can network as many minister cards you want as long as you pay the price. So as you can see, this is a level 1 minister card. The gray bar indicate that the cost is 1 follower, and below there is a white like a white square. This is indicating the permanent ability. To gain this character, I have to pay 1 follower, and I put it into the movement zoom in my player map because it says movement upward. This is just to keep track that his permanent ability helps during the movement phase. Now I gain 1 military influence because I have this character. After that, I can choose if I want to purchase a network another minister. Since I can, I'm going to get Wei Zhen. He also cost me 1 followers, but because this is the second minister I buy, I have to pay 1 more followers, so I pay 2 followers. I'm putting it into the upkeep because it says that I give it an upkeep, and it gives me 1 scheme level, so I'm going to increase my scheme level by 1. Now that I'm done, I cannot pay for another one, or I don't want another one, so I just put the extra minister back into the discard and reshuffle. I'm going to take one of my player tokens and place them in the courthouse to represent that I have them in my network. So Liu Wenjin is number 16. You can see putting him on the correct place on the board. So now I'm going to the back palace to get some concubines. I draw 3 concubines into my hand. And I take a look at them. And remember, it's different from the minister because I can only choose 1 of them to keep. There are only 8 concubines in the game. Let's take a look at them. So here is Beauty Young. She costs 1 spy. She's a level 1. You can see that she will give you 1 follower. That's a 1-time ability. And then below, it gives you 1 scheme level. And every time you stop in the West Market, you get 1 free spy. So now I want to network her. I'm going to pay the 1 spy and put her into the place that's corresponding to her ability, which is movement. So I'm going to take her and put her in movement. So I am going to put her into the movement area, and I'm going to pay 1 spy. So I'm just discarding it from the Princess Palace. I am going to gain 1 follower. So here, this is a one-time bonus, and I also gain 1 scheme level. So move my scheme level track. I'm sorry, I just seem to have some trouble with it. So I'm gonna pretend that I started from 0 and put it at 1. Sorry about that again. So moving from 0 to 1. Every time I stop in the West Market, I get 1 free spy. So that's a good ability to have. You want to go to skinny route. Now I put the rest of the concubine back into the discard and reshuffle them. There's also a little thing that you can get when you're purchasing a higher level minister or concubine. For example, let's take a look at this. A level 4 minister, you see there's like the symbol with the 3 cards. That means you get to draw the minister advice cards. You draw 3 and then you pick 1 and keep them into your hand. This will help you to gain points at the end of the game. It does apply to everyone though, so be careful what you choose. You can choose to not pick any of them if you feel like they're not to your advantage. Once you choose one of the endgame scoring card, which is the advice card, you keep them in your hand. For the emperor, for the concubines, you pick the whisper cards. It's the same thing. If it's a level 3, you draw 2 of them and keep 1. If it's level 4, you draw 3 and keep 1. So now I am choosing. I'm guessing I'm going to choose the impact of kindness. So the action at Barak, it allows you to fight military campaigns and in terms gains victory points and as well as the military generals. Here, you see that there are 4 different campaigns available. Let's see, the Liang has 5 enemy units. 2 of them are the elites, and Emperor support unit give you 2 regular Emperor's unit. You fight the campaign with the Emperor's unit as in addition with your own military units. The difference is that the Emperor units who survive the war will give you victory points, and your own unit does not. So as you can see, this is the 2 elite unit and enemy elite, and then you have 3 regular enemy units, and we have no Emperor's elite, and we have 2 Emperor's regular units. And let's take a look over here. You have 2. I have 2 military units, so I'm going to add 2 regular military units here. So we're fighting against the enemy here and putting the dice together. Since I have 2 military influences, I get to roll 2 dice before the battle begins. So, 5 and 6 are hits. So 5, I hit 1 enemy unit, I reduce the enemy unit by 1. It always starts with a regular. After they all die, you use the elite. So I'm going to put 2 white dice to represent the 2 regular units and 2 red dice to represent the 2 elite units. I'm going to do the same with the Emperor's unit. I'm going to just separate them with different colors because I want to separate the Emperor's units and my units so that when I choose who to sacrifice, I can make sure that I don't mix them up. So see, the enemy have 2 hits. It's 5 and 6. So I reduce my. You can choose whether you want to reduce your own unit or the Emperor's unit. So I'm going to reduce my own unit, and I'll explain why. Here I hit once, 5 and 6. So I reduce 1 enemy unit. That's it. Now you can choose whether you want to retreat or not. But I'm going to decide that I'm going to continue this campaign. The art is not really in my favor right now, but we'll just see. Wow. Okay, I hit nothing, and the enemy hit me once. So I'm just gonna reduce 1 unit since I only have the Emperor's unit left. This is very not good for me. If I am smart enough, I should retreat. Retreat means that you lost the battle, and you'll just lose 3 points plus whichever unit that you sacrificed. But here we go again. Oh, I still hit for nothing, and enemy hit me once. So now all my units are gone. I officially lost the battle. So since I lost the battle, I also lost 2 of the Emperor support units. I lose 3 points for losing the battle and 2 points for each, 1 point for each unit, so 2 points in total. So together I lose 5 points from losing a battle because the Emperor is not happy with me. So here I'm going to reduce 5 points, deduct 5 points from my already very low VP. Now, for the purpose of explaining the game, let's see what happens when I actually win the campaign. So let's say I rolled at 6 and I eliminated one of the enemy units. Now that there are only 2 units left, the enemy unit will automatically retreat. This applies to all the campaign because they will not fight until the last man standing. So let's say I win the campaign, and now I am going to gain 3 victory points, 10 gold, and also 1 level 1 general. I also gain 3 VP plus the 2 VP per Emperor's unit that I brought back from the battle. So that is 5 VP for me for this battle. Since I only have 1 Emperor's unit left after I won. Here you go. And now I am going to reduce the number of my military units according to the battle results. Since I only have 1 left, I'm going to adjust my tracker to 1. I also gain the military campaign that I just won and put it in my completed card pile. According to this card, I gain $10, and I also can choose draw 2 level 1 generals and choose one to keep. So I'm going to do that. I put 2 of them into my hand. Right. So now I'm going to take a look at the military generals. I decided that I like Xuanwu more. So I'm going to keep him, and I'm going to put the other general back into the discard. Look at this. I gain 1 military influence and 1 scheme level. Very awesome. It also gave me a 1 spy. So I'm going to take one of my spies and just put it in the courthouse. So far we have 6 locations explained. You go to the Emperor's Palace to earn gold and to earn VP, and you go to the rest of the places to get your subordinates and character cards. The last location is the Prince's Palace. This is a special location. I have to kind of explain the event phase before I explain the last location. So here we go. During the event phase, you can play either a coup card or a scheme card from your hand. You will, at the beginning of the game, we each have 2 scheme cards to begin with. Every time you play a scheme card, you can draw a new one. At the upkeep phase, you have a requirement for level on the left upper side. This is a level 0 card, which means that you require a level 0 scheme level. So I'm at level 2, so I can definitely play this card. The requirement also indicate that I need to have a spy at a certain location. For this card, it's indicated that I need a spy at the Prince's Palace, so I need a spy on the Prince's Palace, but there's no need for scheme check. Therefore, I can just use this card. The result is that the opponent cannot move more than 2 steps during his or her next movement phase. So let's say it's the third Prince's movement phase, and I'm going to keep this card here to keep track. So on his turn, he's going to look at his movement and be like, oh, I want to move, to the West Market, but wait, I cannot. So the maximum I can move is to the barrack. And then after he fulfilled this restriction, I take back the scheme card and put it in my completed card file and draw a new scheme card. There are times where you can actually perform a scheme check, which sometimes apply to higher level scheme cards. Let's give you an example. This is a level 4, I cannot play it. Level 8, I cannot play it. Oh, now we have a level 3 scheme card. I can play this. You can see that No Mercy, it says Palace and Back Palace. That means I need a spy that stands either in the Palace or the Back Palace, which I have one. Luckily, I have one in the Palace. So that means I can go ahead and do my scheme check. To perform a scheme check, you can see there's a white cube on the right, top right. That means I have to draw a black token, and I need to draw 1 from my plot bag. Oh, sorry, you're not supposed to. The red is not supposed to be here. We begin with 10 white tokens in our bag. This is representing the success chance when we're plotting against our enemy. And I drop a black one, indicating that this is a chance to fail. And I shuffle my deck, my bag, and I drew 1. Oh, it's white. So if it's white, it means I pass the check and I get to get all the advantages of this card. It says that I earn 2 VP and opponent lose 2 VP. So this is very good for me and very bad for him. So he lose 2 and I gain 2. Let's say I drew a black token instead of a white token, let's say I drew a black token from my bag, and that means I failed the scheme check. Then I have to sacrifice the spy I used to play this card, which is the spy in the palace. I need to take him out of the board, and just he sacrificed for this mission, and I'm going to discard this card since I did not complete this game successfully. All right, so and I redraw at the end of the upkeep phase, during the upkeep phase. Let's say I do not want to play a scheme card and I want to plan a coup instead. So that's an alternative way to win, if you remember what I said in the beginning. So there are 3 steps in a coup. In step 1, I'm required to have 5 characters, which I do have, luckily, and need to stand on the Prince's Palace. So I just need to perform a coup check. I threw a red token into my bag and I shuffle, and I draw. Oh, it's a red token. That means I failed the coup and I lost the game. Something you do not want to happen. That means you got killed. Let's for the sake of explaining, let's say I drew a white token. That means that I successfully complete coup step 1. So I put my player token, on coup step 1, keeping track. So now I can play coup step 2 on my next turn event. So let's say I want to go to coup step 2. I need to be on coup step 1 track 1, and I also need to be in barrack. I also need to pay 100 gold. So let's say I went to barrack. Did my action. Now is the event phase. I am going to pay 100 gold. For the sake of explaining, I'm going to give myself a lot of gold so I can show you that I need to pay 100 gold. And now I get to convert all my military influence and my military units into my success rate. So I convert 1 military unit into 1 black token and throw it in my bag. I also take out 3 military influence and put 3 black tokens into my bag. This is going to help me when I perform the next coup check. So Now I am going to throw a red token into my bag, and I'm going to draw and see if I succeed. See here in the coup check, black token and white token both count as success. Only the red token is a fail. So now I advance to coup step 2. Now the coup 3, step 3 is a react card. So it happens whenever your opponent is passing through Xuanwu Gate. That is this gate. That's between the upper palace and the back palace. So when the third prince, my opponent, move, let's say he is in the palace and he wants to go to the back palace, which he has to, so he's passing by now, I get to play this card on him and said, oh, no, this is the Battle of Xuanwu Gate. I get to perform my one last coup check, throw one red token into my bag and draw one. Oh, it's a white. That means I win the game. So for the opponent, he can defend against my coup during his event phase too. Let's say he is at the palace and he already know I'm plotting a coup against him. So on his event phase, he's going to play this coup defense card. He can convert all his military unit and military influence into red tokens and throw into my bag. Oh, I forgot to mention that I actually made a mistake. He has to be in Barak in order to play this event card. It's said in the requirement in the stuff the coup. So let's say the third prince is actually in Barak while he played this event card. So he's gonna reduce 3 of his military units and change them into red tokens and throw them into my bag. Right, so let's explain the last location, which is the Prince's Palace. When you're in the Prince's Palace, you can do a number of actions that can help you with scheming and coup. So first, you can change as many scheme cards as you want. You can discard them from your hand and draw that many scheme cards back. And then the second thing you can do is you can relocate all your spies for the purpose of this explanation. Let's say my spy is in the back palace, inside the palace, and I have this card that I can only play when my spy is in Barak, so I am going to relocate my spy in Barak. The last thing you can do is that you can buy white tokens according to the cost table. So let's say I want to purchase 3 white tokens. So I'm going to pay $30 according to the cost table, and I'm going to throw them into my bag. And this is going to help me with scheme checks and coup check. One more thing that I want to explain. When you are purchasing, when you are networking minister, remember there's white lines and red lines on the board where you place your tokens. That means the white line means that whoever that's connected to your minister is going to cost you 1 less follower to network. When they're connected with a red line, that means that either of them, when they're played a imprisonment on each other, instead of being imprisoned, they will just be killed. The game end will be triggered if one of the player reaches 100 VP. There's also another way to trigger the game end. It's that when half of the court were being taken by both players, or all 3 players. In 2-player games, if 8 spots were occupied, even if it's by black token, which represent the characters that got eliminated, the game end will be triggered. In 3-player games, 12 spots being taken will trigger the game end. Resolving all 10 Emperor cards, or both the Eastern Turk campaign, which is the highest level campaign, will also result the game end trigger. Once the game end triggers, each player will have 1 more turn, and after that, you compare all your VP points and plus the VP you gain from the Whisper card and the Vice cards that each player plays in their hands during the game. And remember that all those cards apply to all the players, so it's not just points that you gain for yourself; it's also competition that applies to other people. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and I really hope you enjoy the game.